Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we will learn design of belt conveyor, and this topic comes under the subject design of mechanical system. So let's begin with the question. So question is design of belt conveyor for the following specification. Material limestone, material is given which is limestone, capacity is given which is 310 TPH, and this TPH known as ton per hour. Okay, then lump size is given which is 150 mm, inclination angle is given which is 15 degree, troughing angle given 25 degree, center distance which is length of conveyor is given 60 meter. So this is the question. Let's begin with the given data. So given data is given Q is equal to 300 ton per hour, capacity is denoted as Q, and 310. So, okay, this is 310 ton per hour. Then E, lump size is given, lump size is 150 mm, lump size is denoted as A. Then inclination angle is denoted by delta, and troughing angle is denoted by theta. Center distance which is length of conveyor is denoted by L, capital L. Okay, so these are the given data, and material is limestone. So the first step, which is selection of belt width and belt speed. In this step we will find out we will calculate belt width as well as the speed of the belt. So lump size is given, which is lump size 150 mm. Okay, then by thumb rule there is a one formula. According to thumb rule, B is equal to 4 into lump size. So lump size is given 150 mm, so 4 into 150 which is 600 mm. So here lump size will be 600 mm. Okay, so next this width must be confirmed with minimum size and capacity from PSD data book 9.818. Okay, now we got the width. So okay, we got the width of belt width which is 600 mm. So we have to confirm that this width and this confirm with minimum size and capacity from data book PSG 9.81. From this data, from this page number we will confirm it. Okay, so this is the formula which you will get on PSG page number 9.18 in the left corner, on the left corner bottom side. That is the formula of this. Okay, so B minimum is equal to 1.11 Q upon rho, the density C into V, 0.5 plus 0.05. This formula you will get, where Q is capacity which is given in the question, 310 TPH, and density. So how to find density? So to find the density, go on PSD page number 9.22. Okay, on PSD 9.22 there is one table of material. Okay, so there for material given in question, material is given which is limestone. Okay, so limestone, there is the one density column is there. Okay, then from material column find out where is the limestone. From there limestone, as you get the limestone, see the value which is given for density. So it has the range which is 1.2 to 1.5. okay, from 1.2 to 1.5. so we have selected 1.35 density. Okay, so next is C. This is small c. These small c indicate as factor for the type of idler. Okay, so now factor its value is 510. So this value we got for in question. We have it has given that the troughing angle is 25 degree. So for 25 degree you will get the value of this small c, so which is 510. Okay, next is from PSG 9.20. Now go on PSG page number 9.20, where one table it is allowable belt conveyor speed in meter per second. Okay, so from that table now we have a minimum. This is the 600 is the minimum size. Okay, So take the next value, which is 650 mm. Okay, so 650 mm, take, which is in mm, so we have to convert in meter, which will be 0.65. Then this we have to find, this velocity is given there itself. As you take this 655, there only this v value is given, speed value has given 2, and q calculated. So here now go in this formula where b minimum, this b minimum will be 0.65. Okay, then 1.1 1.11 into q, this q put as it is unknown. Okay, don't put the value of this 310. Okay, keep it as unknown. Then put the value of density, which is 1.35, c value 510, v value 2, and solve it. You will get the q calculated value, which is 394.99. Okay, so next is q required. We required q is 310 tph. Okay, ton per hour. So okay, the required capacity is 310, and we got the calculated capacity 394. Okay, so it is greater than 310. So in this it is safe. Okay, so this is the safe. So this design is a safe. So now we select, as we know, at the 650 width the design is safe. So we select the width of the belt as 650 mm. Now finding the actual speed of the belt. Here we have took this value 2 from the table, which is not the actual. Okay, so now we will find the actual. So to finding the actual value of belt, put all the values here, keeping this v unknown. Okay, keeping this v unknown. And now here q value, capacity value will be 310. Don't put 394. Okay, we have required 310, so put 310 only. And this v will be unknown. Calculate it. You will get the value of v, which will be 1.56 meter per second. Okay. Now moving to the step number 2. Step number 2 is the driving force and power calculation. Okay, so assuming the material to be conveyed up L, always assume if not specified. Okay, so first we will find the resistance on the belt on top run. We have to find resistance of the belt on the top run as well as on the bottom run. So first we will go for the top run. So this is denoted by WO. Okay, this is denoted by WO. Now go on PSG page number 9.18. Go on this page number, you will go, then this formula you will get to see at the top of the page. Okay, so WO is equal to CFL GG plus GB cos delta plus GRO plus minus H GG plus GB. Okay, so this will be denoted as equation 2. Okay, so here where now from starting here we will see C, this capital C is the value you will get 2.6. How you get? So for L is equal to 60 meter. Okay, length of the conveyor is given 60 meter. Okay, so on this page on PSG 9.18, 9.18, on this page itself there is one small graph. Okay, on that graph see the, for length 60 meter you will get the value, for length 60 meter you will get the value of C, which is 2.6. okay, now next is a small f. Small f is friction between the idler and the belt. So this we have to assume always 0.02 for standard conveyor. Assume it always as a standard conveyor, and for standard conveyor the value of f is 0.02. okay, and L, this L is given 60 meter, which is given in the question. Okay, length of conveyor which is 60 meter. Next is this small gg. So this gg indicates weight of conveyor material per meter length. Okay, so width of conveyor material gg is equal to q upon 3.6 v. This formula you will get on PSG page number 9.23. okay, on this page you will get this formula. Put the value of q, which is 310, and v is 1.56 meter per second. Put this value, you will get the value. You will get the answer, which is 55.19 kgf per meter. Next is GB. Okay, now we will found for GB. So GB is width of the belt. Width of the belt is 9 kgf per meter. Okay, so go on PSG 9.19. On the top of the table, on this page, on the top there is one as table, weight weight of conveyor belt. Okay, so now we have got B. Here we selected width of the belt, which is 650 mm. Okay, so for 650 mm, see the value of GB. Okay, so you will get the value which will be 9 points, which will be 9 kgf per meter. Okay, for width is equal to 650 mm. So now next is cos delta. Delta we have it has given in the question, which is inclination angle, which is 15 degree. Okay. So next is for top run. For top run, width of the troughing idler from PSG 9.19. On the same page, we assume the roller tube diameter, which will be 140 mm, and bearing diameter 25 mm. There on below table it is. Okay. So now from now for B is equal to 6, as we know, we have got this width of the belt 650 mm. So from data book 9.19, where you selected this there is one troughing width of the troughing idler table. From there select width 650 mm. You will get the value of WTT, which is 24.6 m kgf. Okay, so this WT is weight of troughing idler. Weight of troughing idler, which will be 24.6 kgf, and the spacing between the roller, ST, which will be you can see the table of the maximum spacing for idler. This table you will get on PSG 9.19 itself. There select the width. You got the width 650 mm. So for 650 mm, and your speed is 1.56. So see that where it comes. So for 650 mm and for 1.56, you get the value which is 1.5. Okay, 1.5 meter. You get the value from there. Okay. So now next will this GRO. To find GRO, there is one formula, which is weight of troughing upon spacing of troughing. So weight of space troughing we got 24.6, and for spacing 1.5. So GRO will be 16.4 kgf per meter, and GRO denoted as weight of troughing idler on the top run. ठीक, okay, weight of troughing idler on the top run. Same with for the bottom run. For bottom run, WSR. So this value you selected, the where you deselected, at the bottom there is one table which is straight idler. For straight idler on the same page, PSG 9.19, only on the same page. For bottom run, straight idler. For W is equal to straight W, and this SR indicates straight idler. Okay, for this straight idler, select the width. We got the width 650 mm. So for 650 mm, the value of WSR, which will be 15.9 kgf, and same with the spacing of idler. Spacing of idler for 60 mm, which will be one return idler. See the column of return idler, which has given the value 3 meter. Okay. So for bottom run, GRU. For bottom run we denote as GRU, and for top run, GRO. Okay. So the GRU is equal to WSR upon SR. So WS as straight idler we got 15.9 kgf, and spacing we got 3. So after solving we get 5.3 kgf per meter. Okay. So till here we got. Now what is H? H is the height through which material is conveyed. So for that, formula is sine delta is equal to H by L. So H is equal to L into sine delta. L we have got in the question, it is given in the question, which is length of conveyor 60 meter, and delta also given inclination angle, which is 15 degree. Okay, put the values here, L 60 and delta 15 degree. So we get the value of H, which is 15.529. Okay, then put all the values here. Now put, as we got C, F, L, G, 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 B, G, R, O, G, R, U, everything we got. So put all the values in this equation 2. So after putting all the values in equation 2 and solving, so we get the value, which is 1241.42 kgf. Converting it to Newton, which will be 12,414.2 Newton. Okay, we get the value of WO. Okay, WO value we got. This was for the top run. Now we will proceed from the same for bottom run also. Okay, so for bottom run we denote as WU. So WU, this formula also you will get on data book page number 9.18. Below this formula, only that formula also there. And remember, on the top run, this plus minus, on top run this keep as positive, and at the bottom run keep as negative. Okay, so here C value we got here, which will be 2.6 itself, and F value 0.02, and L value 60 meter. Okay, say 2.6 value, F value 0.02, L value 60. GB we got here, um, GB is 9 kgf per meter. So put that 9. Okay, value will be 9. Cos delta, delta is inclination angle, which is 15 degree, cos 15 plus GRU. GRU we found here, which is 5.3. Okay, which will be the 5.3 GRU. So put here 5.3, and as I said, for bottom run take as negative, and for top run take as positive. This remember. Okay, so H value, H also we got 15.529. Put the value here, GB value again 9. Put all the values and solve it. You will get the resistance on bottom run. So value will be D9 minus 96.10 kgf, which is converted into Newton, which will be the minus 961 Newton. Okay, and this negative sign indicates that there is no resistance on the bottom run. Okay, there is no resistance on the bottom run. As we now got top run and bottom run, both we got, so we can find the total resistance. This formula also you will get on PSG page number 9.18. We got for total resistance, uh, top run plus bottom run. Okay, so top run value we got for top run, which is 12,414.2, and here minus 961 for bottom run. Solve it, you will get the total resistance, which will be the 11,453.2 Newton. Okay, so here your step number 2 has been completed. Next, moving to the step number 3. Step number 3 is the motor selection. So for motor selection, there is one formula: shaft power required ST equal to uh, service factor into force into velocity. What here we service factor we assume 1.2. Okay, and force will be this only, which we have removed power. Total resistance is indicated as force. So P is equal to 11,453. Put here as the force value, velocity which we got on the step number 1. Okay, step number 1 velocity is 1.56 meter per second. So velocity value will be 1.56. Put all the values, solve it, you will get 21,440.39 watt, which we convert it into kilowatt. So 21.44 kilowatt. Okay, after we get the shaft power, now we will find motor power. Motor power formula is shaft power upon efficiency of transmission. So value of shaft power we got 21.44 kilowatt, and efficiency you can assume here 100%, 90%, but assume it above 90%. 95% also you can assume. I have assumed as 96%. So put the value, substitute and get the motor power. Motor power will be 22.33 kilowatt. Okay, so as you get the motor power, go on PSG page number 5.126 for selecting the motor. Okay, as you went on this page number 5.126, the select the designation of the motor will be F300B. Okay, and as we get 22.3 kilowatt, we will select the next value. Okay, motor power we got 22.33 kilowatt, we will select the next value. So next value is not available, nearby value is 22 kilowatt. We will select this 22 kilowatt. As you select this, you will get the motor designation as F300B. And speed also you will get 1500 rpm. We select 1500 rpm because there will be the less vibration in the motor. Assume, and in this speed we assume 4% of slip, so after calculating we get 1440 rpm. So here step number 3 also completed. Next, moving to the step number 4. Step number 4 is the flat belt design. Flat belt design. Okay, so in this flat belt design there is head drive, tail drive, yeah, both drive. Okay, so we always assumed as head drive system in flat belt drive. In flat belt design always assume head drive system. So for maximum tension in belt T1, this formula you will get on PSG page number 9.18. There is a mistake of in the formula, so this is the right form. In the data book there is the mistake of the formula, so this is the right formula, note down it. Okay, so T1 is equal to P e raised to mu alpha upon e raised to mu alpha minus 1. So where mu is equal to, so here P, what is the value of P? P we got the value which is 11,453.2 Newton. Okay, we get the value of P. Value of P, this here this it not will be the 22 kilowatt. Okay, this is the wrong. So put the value of P which you got here 11,453.2 Newton. What will be the mu? Mu is the coefficient of friction between belt and the pulley. It is a coefficient of friction between belt and the pulley. So here mu in data book page number 9.18 there is the range given for the mu which is 0.1 to 0.4. So here I have assumed as 0.24. Alpha. Alpha is the angle of lap over the pulley in radian. Angle of lap. It is an angle of lap. So in flat belt design the angle of lap is 240 degree. So it is in degree but we have to keep in radian. So after converting in radian we get the value which is 4.188 radian. And here P value will be the 11,453. Okay, 453 will be 11,453.453.2. Okay, put the values, put all the values in this formula, you will get the value of T1. So value of T1 we get 18,065 Newton. Okay, as we get T1, so now moving to the next next formula which is T2. On the same page you will get T2 is equal to T1 minus P1. This formula is this. So T1 18,065 and P1 will be the 11,453.2 Newton. Okay, put these values, we get T2 is equal to 6,611.80 Newton. And so for formula for T2 there is two formula for T2. From one formula we get this value. Now moving to the next formula. Next formula is T2 is equal to H into GB. H value of H we got here which will be 15.529, and value of GB also 9 which we have done in the step number 2. These two both value you will get in the step number 2. Put the value, substitute it and get the value of T2. So next T2 we get 139.761 Newton. So from this we selecting the higher value we will select. So this we will select 6611.80 Newton from above, selecting the max value of T2, which will be 6611.80 Newton. Next we will go for T3. This formula also available on same page. T3 is equal to T2 plus WU. Value of T2 is 6611.80 and value of WU. This WU is for bottom run. Okay, so for bottom run we had found it. Uh, we have find it for bottom run. W is equal to minus 961 Newton. Okay, so value of W is minus 961 Newton. So substitute it, you will get the value of T3, which will be the 5650.8 Newton. As you get now T3, moving to the next T4. T4 you will get on this formula also, you will get on the data book page number 9.18. So for T4, T4 is equal to T3. So value will be same for T4 and T3 as it is mentioned in page number 9.18 data book. Okay. Now we have done till this. Now next we will find number of flies. Number of flies indicated as I minimum. I minimum, this formula equal to I minimum is equal to T1 upon B into F. So this you will get on data book page number 9.18. This formula is on data book page number 9.18 at the bottom left corner. Okay, so here T1 we have found earlier, which is 18,065 Newton, and B width will be the 650, which we found on step number 2, step number 1, sorry, step number 1, and F value will be the 0.71. So for F, what is F? F is the working tension of belt for 1 meter width. See, okay, working tension of belt. This is the working. Don't put the value of F here. This one. See, this value. Don't put the value of F 0.02, which we have taken here. This F was different and this F is different. This F is working tension of belt. So you will get this on PSG page number 9.21. As you go on this page number, there is one table which is density of material conveyors. Okay, so density, what we get there, we have taken the density value on step number 1. Density we took 1.35. Okay, 1.35 we taken the density. So for this value, see the range where it comes. It comes between 1.25 to 1.75 on data book page number 9.21. Okay, see the table, you will get the range where it comes 1.53. So 1.25 and 1.75. And below that, there is one designation of belt fabric, OZ. Okay, now for selecting 650 belt width, we select 650 belt width. We select 650 belt width, and for that we get the minimum and maximum number of flies. I value we get my minimum and maximum number of flies. So for 650 we take 36 OZ. 36 OZ we take, and for 36 OZ minimum and maximum value is 55. Okay, so from there only we get this. Okay, now see from table 4 on PSG 9.21 for 36 OZ, width will be 650. We get I minimum and maximum 55 value. Okay, as we selected this 36 OZ. Okay, now see on table number 5 on that page itself 9.21, working tension in conveyor belt, which indicate as F, working tension in conveyor belt. As we selected this 36 OZ, then for these 36 OZ we select the value of F. So vulcanization, joint and gravity take up. So for that value of F is 0.71. And now we solve this, we get I minimum is 3.91. Okay, and this I have already told you how to remove it. Now taking the number of flies, I is equal to 5. Okay, now this is the cross section of belt. This is the top cover. Okay, this much is the top cover and this much is the bottom cover. and this is your bottom cover. Okay, so top cover value is 1.1 to 3 mm for fabric belt, and bottom cover the value is 1 mm, and this middle one is the flies. This is the flies, which will be the 5 into 1, which will be the value 5, which we have got here 5. Okay, so total thickness is equal to top cover thickness plus flies thickness plus bottom cover thickness. Top cover thickness, we take the value, you can take 2 also, 2, 1 also, 3 also. So I have taken 3, and for flies thickness is 5, and bottom thickness is 1 mm. So add it, you will get the total thickness, which will be 9 mm. Our next step is step number 5, which is design of head pulley assembly, and this step is very important because the next step is step number 6, which is design of tail pulley. So head pulley design and tail pulley design are almost similar design. The steps are very similar to each other. So this step is very important, and in this step, there are three components: pulley, shaft, and bearing. Pulley, shaft, and bearing. These three components we will design one by one. So let's begin with it. This is the diagram of head pulley. Okay. This diagram is important. You have to make in the exam. So first we will design a pulley design. Okay, pulley design. For pulley design, we take the material as cast iron. Okay, we take material cast iron. So diameter of pulley D is equal to P into K1 into K2. This formula you have to remember, where K1 and K2. K1 is the factor based on belt material. Factor based on belt material. The range is given 1.25 to 1.6, so we assume here 1.5. Okay, and K2 is factor based on percentage utilization of the belt, which is 100% utilization. So here we take K2 as 100, so we get K1, K2, and P is the number of flies. Okay, so number of fly is 5. Okay, so we take P is equal to 5. Okay, so D is equal to P into K1 into K2. P is the number of flies, which is 5. K1 is 1.5. K2 is 100. So after putting all the values in the formula, substitute it, we get the answer: diameter of pulley is equal to 750 mm. Next we will find pulley width, which is B1. This width we will find. Okay, which is B1. So for this width, we can see this B. Okay, B plus this margin, this side and this side, this two, this much distance here and this much distance here. Okay, so B plus this both side margin. So this both side margin we take as 25 left side and 25 right side. So B plus margin, so B, it will margin will be or overall 50, and B will be the 650, which we got in the previous step. See, B is equal to 650, which we get on the width. In step number 1, we find it. Okay, so B is equal to 650 and margin will be 50. Substitute it, we get 700 mm. Pulley width will be 700 mm, where margin 50 we have assumed it. Okay, next we will find length of the span. Okay, so for finding length of the span, so formula is 1.2 into B1. Okay, 1.2 into B1, this is the formula. B1 we got here, which is 700 mm, multiply with it 1.2, so we get 800 mm. Okay, so this was the pulley design. One component we designed. Next component is shaft design. So now we will design shaft design, which is also called as head pulley. So for shaft design, we take material as C45. Tau will be 35 Newton per mm square. Okay, then Fs. So here, this will be the diagram. You can make this one diagram over here. Okay, this is a pulley where this force is T1. Here will be the T1, and this side will be the T2. Okay, and in the middle the force will be Fs. Okay, so here Fs is equal to T1 plus T2. Okay, so T1 and T2 which we got on step number 3. On step number, okay, sorry, so on step number 4, in step number 4 we find out the T1 and T2 value. Okay, so T1 is 18,065 and T2 is 6,611. So put this wood value, add it, we get the Fs which is 24,676.8 Newton. Okay, so this was this diagram is for head pulley, and for tail pulley it will be the reverse. Okay, in tail pulley I will show you. Next we will find in this bending moment. Bending moment MB is equal to Fs into L by 4. So Fs we got here, which is 24,676.8. Small n, small l will be the length of span which we found here, which is 800 mm. So put the value, we get the bending moment, which will be 5.1821 into 10 raised to 6 Newton mm. Next is twisting moment. Twisting moment is T1 plus T2 into D by 2. So T1 value we got in step number 4, T2 value also we got in step number 4 itself, and this capital D we got from here, which is diameter of pulley, which will be 750 mm. Okay, which will be 750 mm. Okay, so 750 mm, and put all the values and substitute it. You get the value of twisting moment, which will be 2.4613 into 10 raised to 6 Newton mm. As you got now bending moment and twisting moment, you can find the equivalent torque. Equivalent torque will be T is equal to under root bending moment plus twisting moment. The whole square will be, and put both the values here and get the answer, which will be the 5736911.896 Newton mm. Okay, next will be the shaft diameter. Shaft diameter based on the shear stress. So based on the shear stress, this is the formula for shaft diameter. To find the diameter of shaft, this will be the formula. So ds is greater than equal to under root cube under root 16 Te upon pi into tau. So Te will be the equivalent torque which we got here. Equivalent torque we got the value pi, and tau value here 35 Newton per mm square. Put the value, you get the put all the value, you get the answer of shaft will be 94.15 mm, which will be equal to 95 mm. As you get now, you got the value of diameter of shaft. Next we will find diameter of hub and length of hub. For diameter of hub, there is one formula. Diameter of hub is equal to 2 times of diameter of shaft. So 95 into 2 times, which will be 190 mm, and length of the shaft will be 3 times of the shaft diameter, so 285 mm. Okay, so this was your design of shaft. Okay, now you design you have already designed pulley shaft. Now we will go for bearing. For bearing, we select the type of bearing, which will be DGBB, which is deep groove ball bearing. So bore diameter will be ds is equal to 95. Here you took out the shaft diameter, which is 95 mm. So bore diameter will be 95 mm. So 95 divided by 5, which is 19. This 19 will be bearing number. Okay. So next we will go find bearing load Fr. So bearing load for Fr formula is Fs by 2. Fs, you got the value of Fs here, 24,676.8 Newton. Put the value of Fs here and get the answer, which will be 12,338.4 Newton. Convert into kgf. Okay, Fa will be 0. Shaft speed. To remove the shaft speed, formula is V is equal to pi dn upon 60. Capital D will be here this where you have find pulley design. The capital D is 750 mm. You have to keep this in meter, which will be 0.75. Okay, 0.75 value will be the, and n will be the unknown upon 60. V, value of V you got in step number 1. Okay, in step number 1 we have found the value of V, which is 1.56 meter per second. Put the value of V and get the speed of the shaft. N will be 39.72 rpm. This will be the speed of the shaft. Okay, next is bearing life, LH, where we assume bearing life 12,000 hours, we assume it as a bearing life. So L10 is equal to 60 into LH into N upon 10 raised to 6. This all formula you will get on PhD page number 4.3. Okay, so there you will get this formula. Now here LH will be 12,000, N will be now 39.72. Substitute it, get the answer, which will be 28.59 mr. This mr indicates million per revolution. Next is equivalent load, PE. For equivalent load, this formula you will get on PhD data book page number 4.3. There x, we take x, v and kt will be value 1. X equal to v equal to kt is equal to value will be, all these three value will be 1. Service factor we assume 1.4. So put all the value. FA got 0 and FR also we find out here. Here we found out the FR value. Put all the values, substitute it and get the answer of equivalent load, which will be 1727.376 kgf. Okay, as you got now equivalent load you find out. Okay, now go for, we will find the dynamic capacity. Okay, to find the dynamic capacity, this is the formula which you will get on PhD data book 4.3. On this page you will get this formula. Put all the values and substitute and get the answer. L10 will be 28.59, PE which is equivalent load which we found here, and K value, K will be 3 for roller bearing. So for roller bearing value of K will be 3. Put all the value, you will get this C value. Okay, this C value you will get, which is 5281.91 kgf. So from PhD data book 4.13 we select SKF series 62. Okay, SKF series 62 we select, and these 19 indicate as bearing number which we found here. See, for the bore diameter ds is equal to 95, then we divide 95 by 5 which we get 19. So this 19 indicates at bearing number. So this 19 is bearing number. So uh, now this we take, and from there itself you will get the dynamic capacity value, which will be 8500 kgf. Next, moving to the step number 6. As I have step number 6 is design of tail pulley. As I have said, previous step which was design of head pulley, which is similar to the tail pulley. Both design are similar. If you can do step number 5, this will be the very easiest step. So in this step, only two components we will design. One is shaft and other is bearing. So for shaft design, we take material as C45, tau will be 35 Newton per mm square, sigma t will be 70 Newton per mm square, which we have done in this step also. Taken material, same material we taken C45, tau will be 35 Newton per mm square. Okay, and then shaft design. So here shaft design will be Fs is equal to T3 plus T4. So here you draw this one diagram which will be for indicating the shaft design. Okay, so here this one will be here and this will be here. So this will be your T4. Okay, this will be T4 and this is Fs and this will be T3. Okay. So shaft design is Fs is equal to T3 plus T4. T3 and T4 both value you got on the step number 4, flat belt design, where we have find these two values. Put both the value, get the answer which will be 11,301.6 Newton. Next we will find bending moment, which will be Fs into L by 4. L will be a length of span which we have found here. Length of span will be 800. Okay, as we multiply this 700 B1 we multiply this 700 into 1.2, so we get here answer will be 840. Okay, this answer will be 840. So length of span will be 840. Okay, so here put 840, value 840 divide by 4. You will get the bending moment fs will be your fs. Now here put the fs value, this fs value, don't put the fs value of head pulley, put value of tail pulley. Okay, and l will be the length of span which we found here. Length of span will be 840 will be. Okay, here 840 will be. Next we find twisting moment. Twisting moment will be mt is equal to T3 minus T4 into d by 2. T3 and T4 both value we got in step number 4. From there you can get this both value. D will be the diameter of pulley. Diameter of pulley which we removed over here, which is 750 mm. Okay, diameter of pulley 750 mm. 750 divided by 2, so you will get the twisting moment value which is 0. Next we will find the shaft diameter based on bending stress. So shaft diameter based on bending stress, this will be the formula. Okay, based on bending stress, so cube root 32 into bending moment upon pi into sigma t. So here bending moment, we get the value bending moment from over here, which is 2.373 into 10 raised to 6, and sigma t will be 70 Newton per mm square. Put all the values, you will get the shaft diameter which will be the 75 mm. As you get the shaft diameter, remove the diameter of hub and length of the hub. Diameter of hub will be 2 times of shaft diameter and length of hub will be 3 times of shaft diameter. So both value you will get. Okay, this was the design of shaft. So design of shaft, it seems for tail pulley is similar to the head pulley. Here also see, first we take the material, then we remove Fs which will be T1 plus T2. Next we remove bending moment, twisting moment also we removed, and equivalent torque. Then we find out the shaft diameter which is based on maximum shear stress, and tail pulley will be based on bending moment, bending stress, and diameter of hub will be 2 times of diameter of shaft, length of hub will be 3 times of diameter of the shaft. All the formulas are similar, you can see, compare both these. Here also see, in tail pulley we design shaft, design bending moment, twisting moment, shaft diameter based on bending, and diameter of hub, length of hub, both the formula is almost similar. Okay, next we will go for bearing selection. We will select the first, we will select the type of bearing which will be deep groove ball bearing. Next we will do bore diameter. Bore diameter is which is the shaft diameter, which is 75 mm. So bore diameter is equal to 75 mm. 75 divided by 5, which will be 15. This will indicate your bearing number. Okay, next will be bearing load. Fr is equal to Fs by 2. Here Fs will be the shaft uh, this 11,301, this will be the Fs value here. Okay, don't put the Fs value of head pulley, you are solving now tail pulley, so put the value of tail pulley. So Fs will be this, and you will get the value of Fs which will be 12,338.4 Newton, converting to kgf. Next Fa will be the 0. Then find the shaft speed. Shaft speed will be V is equal to pi dn upon 60. D value will be the diameter of pulley. Put diameter of pulley in meter. Don't put in mm. Okay. Put this an unknown. This V value we got in step number 1. In step number 1, we got the value of this V, which is 1.56 meter per second. Put all the values, solve it, we get N is equal to 39.72 rpm. Next, we find the bearing life. Bearing life LH is equal to 12,000 hours here assumed. Here also we assume 12,000 hours, which we done in previous step. Also we assumed it. Here also LH is equal to, L10 is equal to 60 into LH into N upon 10 raised to 6. LH will be 12,000, N will be 39.72, and substitute it, you will get the value 28.59 MR. Next, we will find the equivalent load. Same formula will be all formula you will get on PSG data book 4.3. Put all the X, V, KT will be 1. Service factor we assume 1.4. FR value we got here and FA value also 0. Put all value, we get the equivalent load which will be 791.112 kgf. Next, we will go to find dynamic capacity, which will be C. L10 is equal to C upon P K. Here for K value is 3. This formula you will get on same page 4.3 data book. For K is equal to 3 for roller bearing, and L10 we got here value of L10. Equivalent load also we got here. Put all the value, we get that C value which is 24,003 kgf. As you get this value, go on PSG page number 4.12 where we select SKF60. Okay, this series we will select SKF60, and these 15 indicate bearing number which we found here. Okay, 15 bearing number which we already finded. So put this 15 and there itself we will get the dynamic capacity which is 3100 kgf. Okay, so as you can see, this bearing selection, the whole selection is similar to tail, similar to head pulley. Okay, in this also you have done almost similar formula, full similar formula. If you will compare, everything is similar, no changes, only minor changes are there. Okay, so step number 5 and step number 6 both are similar. Okay, so now we will move to the next step, which is step number 7. Step number 7 is overrunning idler assembly. This step is overrunning idler assembly, which is also known as stuffing. Okay, so now step number 7 is important because step number 7 and step number 8 is almost similar. How we did step number 5 and step number 6 both are similar. In same case, step number 7 and step number 8 also both similar. Step number 7 is overrunning and step number 8 is underrunning. That's it. And in these both design also are almost similar design it is. Okay. So step number 7, overrunning a troughing idler. So here also you will get three components to be designed. One is idler, second is axle, third is bearing. So first we will go for idler. Idler design. So type of idler, three troughing idlers. In overrunning, there type of idler will be three troughing idler, and in underrunning type of idler will be only a single idler running. Okay, so next we will find load on idler assembly. GB 9 kgf per meter, GG 55.19 kgf per meter, PO this will be the, this indicate the spacing. PO indicate the spacing, only we change the notation we have changed. PO which will be 1.5 meter. These all the value you have already got in step number 2. Now we will go in step number 2. I will show you. We are at the step number 2. Okay, so in this step number 2 was driving force and power calculation. Okay, in step number 2 it was driving force and power calculation. So here we have found the value of GG. See, here we found the value of GG. Okay, and we also found the value of GB. Okay, these both value we have found it, and spacing will be, we also found the value of spacing. See the spacing, here we denote the spacing as ST, and in step number 7 we denote spacing as PO. Okay, in step number 7 we denote it as PO. Okay, so these all three values, GG value, then GB and STD spacing. All three values will be used in step number 7. So now moving to the step number 7. See all these GB values, GG and PO, all three values we get from the step number 2. Next, we will find the net load on each idler assembly. Net load on each idler assembly, which is denoted as W, and formula for this is PO GB plus GG plus GRO. And okay, so here PO will be 1.5, then GB will be 9, and GRO, this GRO also you will get on step number, this GRO you will get on step number 2 itself only. This value also you will get. Then this GRO indicates for the top running, or this is overrunning means top running. Take the value for top running GRO, you will get the this value in step number 2. So GRO will be 16.4. Its value is 16.4. Okay, 16.4 is value. So after taking all the values, substituting it, you get the value of W. You will get W as 120.885 kgf. Okay, so net load will be 120.885 kgf. Next we will find load on central idler. So load on central idler will be 70% of the net load. Okay, on the center of the idler, total load will be 70% of net load is taken by the central idler. So okay, so FO is equal to zero point 0.7 into W. W we got here 120.885 multiplied with its 0.7, which will be 84.61 kgf. Okay. Next, moving to the next, idler assembly. This will be a diagram of idler assembly. Okay, this is the diagram of idler assembly. Make it as it is important in exam. Okay. Next, we will go material. We select material for idler as cast iron. Okay, cast iron we select. Assumed we select cast iron material, then we assumed sigma B is equal to 60 Newton per mm square. Then we go move on idler proportional. So in idler proportional, LO, this small LO indicate as bearing span, and this capital LO will indicate as length of the idler. Okay, length of the idler. So length of the idler will be B dash. Its formula is B dash by 3. So what is B dash? So B dash will be B plus margin. Okay, so B dash is B plus margin divide by 3. So B will be 650, which we got in the step number 1 itself, 650. And margin, we assume margin as 100 mm. So put margin 100 and divide by 3. Okay, and you will get the answer 250 mm. Okay, length of idler we got 250 mm. Then bearing span, LO, small LO we will find, which is bearing span, and formula for that is LO, this capital LO minus margin, and for capital LO we got 250 mm, and this margin we assume 50 mm. Okay, we assume 50 mm. So 250 minus 50, which we get 200 mm. This will be the bearing span. Length of bearing span will be 200 mm and length of idler will be 250 mm. Next, we will find bearing bore. Bearing bore will be DB is equal to 25 mm, and tube diameter DO will be 140 mm. These both the value we have find in step number we have assumed in step number 2. Okay, these both value I will show in step number 2. See, roller tube diameter, which is 140 mm, and bearing diameter is 25 mm. Both the value you will get from here, step number 2. Okay, know the how we remove this value, bearing bore and tube diameter dB and do. Okay, this value will be come from the step number 2. Okay, now next we will find the internal diameter of the tube, which is di, capital Di, equal to do minus 2t. Do will be here tube diameter, which is 140 mm, and t will be the thickness, will be assume 3, thickness will be 3. So 2 into 3 will be 6. So 140 minus 6 is equal to 134 mm, where t is equal to tube thickness is equal to 3 mm. We will assume tube thickness is equal to 3 mm. Next we will move for checking for bending failure of the idler. Bending failure of idler, we will check for bending failure of idler. So for bending failure of idler, there is one formula, sigma b is equal to moment at B upon Z. So here moment B is bending moment at mid span. At mid span, moment where will be the moment at the mid span. Okay, so moment is equal to FO by 2 into LO by 2 minus FO upon 2 minus LO by 2. So capital FO we will get from, okay, so capital FO is here, you can see load on central idler, which will be 84.61 kgf. So capital FO will be get from here value, and the small LO, which is LO is equal to L, capital LO minus margin, which is 250 minus 50 is equal to 200 mm. Okay, so both the value we got, so put FO and LO value over here. Okay, we will simplify this more, we can simplify this equation more. So FO into LO upon 8. So FO value you got, LO also value you got. In the same step only you will get these two value. Put both the value and get the answer. Okay, then both the answer. So you will get the answer 2115.25 kgf meter per square, which will be converted is equal to 21,152 Newton mm. Okay, next we will find, now we got this movement we got. Okay, so now we will find this Z. So Z is equal to pi by 32 into d, outer diameter minus inner diameter upon outer diameter, which will be do and di value, which we removed previously. Do value is tube diameter and internal diameter will be 134, outer diameter 140 mm. So put both the values, solve it, you will get the Z value. As you get the Z value, put both the value over here in this formula and you will get the sigma B. Okay, sigma B you will get. So sigma B will be 0.48 Newton per mm square, which is less than allowable sigma B. So 60 Newton per mm square here is allowable, which is 60, which is less than 0.4 is less than 60 Newton per mm square. So our design is safe. Next we will design. So here we would design three components. So first component idler we design. Now we will go for axle. So next step number 2 will be design of step, in these sub steps will be design of idler axle. Material we will select C45. For that bending stress will be 70 Newton per mm square. This all you will get from PSG data book 1.9. Next proportion we will find capital L is equal to LO plus 2C plus TP. Okay, so assume C. Here we assume, here this C we will assume 5 mm and this TP we will assume 15 mm. This both value we have to assume, and this capital LO value will be get in sub steps here. Capital LO we have found at length of idler, which will be 250 mm. Okay, 250 mm we will get. So 250 plus 2 into 5 plus 15, which will be 275 mm. Next we will check for bending of axle at section DS. So we will find bending of axle at section DS. So for that, this formula is sigma B is equal to moment at B upon Z. So moment will be FO upon 2 into capital L minus LO upon 2. FO, you will get the value of FO here, which I have told you previously. See here, FO value is 84.16 kgf, and next capital L, here we found capital L value, which is 275. Small LO, Small LO is the you will get from here, which is bearing span. Small LO, which is known as bearing span. We have found here LO is equal to capital Lo minus margin, which is 200 mm. Bearing span is 200 mm. Okay, so put all the values here and get substituted, get the value. So you will get moment, you will get 5288.1 Newton mm. Okay, as you get moment, next we will find for Z. So for Z, pi by 32 into ds, where ds, okay, where ds is equal to dB minus 5 mm. So what is dB here? So dB will be 25. See, bearing bore diameter is 25 mm. Okay, bearing bore diameter is 25 mm. So that 25 mm we have took here. Okay, so ds is equal to dB minus 5. So dB will be 25 minus 5 mm. So it will be 20 mm. So ds will be 20 mm. Put here 20 and get the value. You will get the value of z. As you get the value of z, put the value of z over here in this formula. You will get the sigma b. So sigma b is 6.73, which is less than allowable, and allowable is 70 Newton per mm square. So here also our design is safe. Moving to the next and the next and last design of this step, which is bearing. So in this bearing we select DGBB bearing, which is deep groove ball bearing. For that, bore diameter will be 25 mm, as we have selected here. This bearing bore is 25, so that will be bore diameter 25 mm. So through that we can get the bearing number, which is 25 divided by 5, which is 5. Bearing number will be 5. Bearing load Fr is equal to Fo upon 2. Fo value you will get here, as I have mentioned previous also. See here Fo value 84.61. You can put that value and get the value of Fr, which will be 42.305 kgf. Fa will be 0. Bearing speed will be V is equal to pi dn upon 60. So V, value of V you will get on step number 1, which we have removed 1.56, and value of N we have to find here, and D will be diameter, outer diameter. So outer diameter, tube diameter is 140 mm. So take it into meter, which will be 0.140. Okay, so here it is 0.140. Okay, so you will get the value of N, which is 212.81 rpm. Okay, bearing life, which is L hours, so 12,000 hours we will assume it. So L10 is equal to 60 into LH into N upon 10 raised to 6. So 60 into LH, LH will be bearing life, which is 12,000 we have assumed, and we have found here, which is 212, and substitute all the value, get the value of bearing life, which will be L10, which will be 153.22 mr. Mr denotes million per revolution. Next is equivalent load. P is equal to x v r fr plus y into fa into kt into sf. Here x kt will be x and kt value will be 1. Sf service factor, which will be assuming 1.4, and value of v will be 1.2. 1.2 for outer race rotating. Okay, for outer race rotating, here value 1.2, v value will be 1.2. Put all the values, substitute, and get the value of equivalent load, which is 71.07 kgf. Next we will find the dynamic. Next we will find L10 is equal to C by FPE r raised to K. K is equal to, K value will be 3 for roller bearing, and put K value and P equivalent load value you will put 71.07. L10 value you got here 153.22. Put all the values, substitute, and get the answer, which will be this C you will get. Okay, this C value you will get. So C value you will get 380.29 kgf. So from PSG data book 4.12, select SKF 6005. So now go on PSG 4.12. Okay, there as we have got these, select the series SKF 60. Okay, SKF 60 SKF 60 series we will select, and these five indicate a bearing number which we have found here. Okay, this we have found here, bearing number is 5. So put that 5 bearing number, and on that page 4.12 C this whole number, and for that you will get the value of C, which is 780 kgf. Okay, now begin with the step number 8. Step number 8 is design of underrunning idler assembly. In previous step we have studied the overrunning, and in this step we will do an underrunning idler assembly. So in this the components are idler, axle and bearing. Three components and are there, one by one we will design. So first we will go for idler. So design of idler. Idler type will be in overrunning idler type will be three troughing idlers. Okay, in overrunning idler type will be three troughing angle, and whereas in underrunning the type will be only a single, okay, single idler. Load on each idler assembly. Load on each idler assembly. For that, this is the formula: W is equal to PU GB plus GRU. PU is the spacing, which spacing, it is a spacing for return idler, which we have already found in step number 2. You can go on step number 2 and there you will get this value. This you will get from PSG 9.19. So we put the value of PU, then GB and GRU. These all three values are there in the step number 2. You can get from there. So PU value will be 3, GB value will be 9, and GRU will be 5.3. Substitute it and get the answer 42.9 kgf. The load will be 42.9 kgf. Next, load on each idler. Each idler will be in this will be equal to W, which we have found previous. It will be same, equal. Next will be idler assembly. The diagram will be same as overrunning. Here we have drawn the diagram. This diagram will be same as for this diagram is for overrunning, and for underrunning also will be same. So next begin with the idler design. Idler design, for idler design we take the material as cast steel, okay, and for cast steel sigma tensile bending stress will be 60 Newton per mm square, okay. So next is proportion. Proportion LU is equal to BI, which is equal to 750 mm, which will be equal to 750 mm, which we have found here, okay. In step number 5 here, see, we have found the diameter of pulley, okay. Diameter of pulley we have found. For that we have got the diameter of pulley is equal to 750 mm, okay. So moving to the next. So this will be equal to diameter of pulley. Next, small LU is equal to capital LU minus margin. Margin we assume 50 margin. Okay, 25 on left side and 25 on right side. So this capital LU is 750. So 750 minus 50, which will be 700 mm. Next, we will go to tube diameter, which we have previously seen in the previous step. We have seen this in previous step, tube diameter and bearing diameter 140 and 25 mm. These values are taken from the step number 2. You can see in step number 2. Next, internal diameter of tube, which is DI, equal to DO minus 2T. So capital DO is 140, this 140, and T is the thickness, which we assume 3. In previous step also, in overrunning, this was the underrunning, and in overrunning also we have done same. See, in underrunning also tube thickness we have assumed as 3, okay. So same. So it is same as previous step. So internal diameter of pulley will be 134 mm. Checking for bending of idler. So formula is sigma b is equal to moment at B upon Z. So what will be at moment of B? So moment of B will be Fu into Lu upon 8. So these Fu and Lu, this small Lu we have removed here, which is 700 mm. Okay, this small Lu is 700 mm, and Fu is 42 42.9 kgf. Okay, yeah, fu will be 42.9 kgf. Don't take fu of previous step. Here also we have removed fu value. See, in this step, okay, in this step we removed fo. Okay, so put all the values and substitute, get the answer of moment at B. Moment at B will be 3753.75 kgf. Next we will find Z. So Z is equal to pi by 32 into capital Du raised to 4 minus Di raised to 4 upon Du. So Du will be this tube diameter, Di will be internal diameter, which is 134, and tube diameter, which is 140. Put all the values, substitute it, and get the value of Z, which is 43296.521 mm. Both value now moment and this Z value, both value put in this formula. Okay, put in this formula and get the answer of sigma B. So you will get sigma B 0.0866 kgf per mm square, which is less than allowable stress. Our allowable stress was 60 Newton per mm square, so it is less than that, so our design is safe. Design of axle. For axle material we take C45, for that sigma T is 70 Newton per mm square. Proportion dB is equal to 25 mm, and capital L is equal to LU plus 2C plus TP. So this LU will be, as we have found in previous step, this capital LU is 750, and bearing this capital LU will be 750, and this bearing diameter will be 25 mm. Both value we got here. DB is bearing diameter, and this LU also we got. Okay. Next C is the C we assume here as 5, and this TP is 15. See, in here we have assumed in overrunning. In overrunning, we have assumed C is equal to 5 and TP is equal to 15. So in underrunning also same you have to assume. Okay. In design of underrunning also you have to assume it same. So C will be 5 and TP will be 15. Okay. Both assume it. Get the value, substitute it, and capital L will be 775 mm. Next we will check for bending of axle at section DS. Moment is equal to Fu upon 2 into L upon 2 minus Lu by 2. Uh, okay, so Fu will be 42.9 value, which we have removed here previously. Capital L we got capital L 775 mm, and small Lu will be, small Lu is equal to 700 mm. Okay. So put all the values here and substitute it, get the answer. So moment you will get 268.125 Newton mm. Next we will find Z. Z is equal to pi by 32 into ds cube, while ds is equal to bearing diameter, which is 5. While ds is equal to bearing diameter minus 5 mm. So bearing diameter is 25 mm. Bearing diameter is 25 mm, so 25 minus 5, so we get 20 mm. Okay, so ds will be 20, put here 20 and get the value of z, which is 785.4 mm cube. Next is, on solving we get sigma b is equal to moment and z, both the value put here and get the answer, which will be 0.3413 Newton per mm square, which is less than allowable, hence our design is safe. Okay. Next is bearing design. For bearing we take a type of bearing is deep groove ball bearing. Its bore diameter is 25, bearing number, bore diameter divided by 5, you get the bearing number, which is 5. Then bearing rod, Fr is equal to Fo by 2. Sorry, here it will be Fu. Okay, this is Fu by 2. So Fu is 42.9 by 2. get 21.45. Fa will be 0. Bearing speed V, as we find the value of V in step number 1, which is 1.56. Then pi d, and d will be diameter which will be 0.14, and n we have to find here. So n is 212.81 rpm. Next is bearing life. Bearing life LH is, here we assume 12,000 hours of bearing life. So L10 is equal to 60 into LH into N. LH we assume 12,000, put this value 12,000, and N we got 212.81 RPM. Put all the values, get get this L10, which is 153.22 million per revolution. Next is equivalent load, PE. This will be same formula as you have done previous also. Put all the values, get the values of PE, which will be 36.036 kgf. Next is L10 is equal to C upon PE raised to K. K will be 3 for roller bearing. So put all value here, L10 and P, K value, you will get the C, which is 192.83 kgf. Now move on the page number, PSG page number 4.12. Select SKF series 60, SKF series 60, okay. And these 5 indicates their bearing number, which we have found here. Bearing number is equal to 25 by 5, which is 5, okay. So your SKF 6005 will be done, and through that we get the C value, which is 780 kgf. Okay, this was the last step, and two remaining dimension we will find, which is number of troughing idler. Number of troughing idler is equal to length of conveyor upon spacing. So what is the length of conveyor, which is given in the question? Length of conveyor 60, and spacing will be 1.5. See, this spacing 1.5 is for top running. Okay, for top resistance we have take the spacing of 1.5, and for bottom we have take the spacing of 3. Okay, so put the values and get the answer, which will be 40. But in top running, there is 3 idlers, so we multiply the main answer with the 3, so it will get final answer, which is 120. Number of troughing idler will be 120. Next, number of return idler. Return idler means bottom idler also you can say. So that is length of conveyor upon spacing. Length of conveyor, which is given in question 60, and for bottom resistance we took this spacing value 3. This 1.5 and 3 we have already, this value we have already took in step number 2. You can go and see that. Okay, and you will get the answer. Both answer you will get. Thank you.